My grandfather would have enjoyed the Honor Your Hometown campaign. Independence, Missouri was his hometown. He was born in Lamar, but he grew up in Independence, went all the way through school in Independence, met and married my grandmother in Independence, and retired to Independence after he left the presidency.
Well, it's good to be back home in what I call the center of the world, Independence, Missouri. I think it's the greatest town in the United States, and I've been all over the country, and I've been to Europe and South America and several other places. But I still like to come back home, and I'll continue to feel that way as long as I live.
He was probably the last president who could enjoy moving freely around his hometown, even though that sometimes had its drawbacks.
And I think you find everybody in Independence feels the same way about this town, because it's the center of things for most of us, and it's the center of things for me. And I'm more than happy to be here and to stay here for the rest of my life. I hope it won't cause you too much trouble while I'm here.
Early on in his retirement, a man's car broke down in front of the house at 219 North Delaware Street. And the man didn't know where he was. It was just a nice Victorian house, and it looked safe. So he walked through the front gate and up the front walk, up the steps, rang the doorbell. My grandfather answered the door, and the man asked if he could use the telephone to call a local mechanic to get the car fixed. Grandpa invited him in, let him use the phone, and after the man had finished his call, the two of them stood in the foyer for a few minutes, just chatting, probably about cars and what can go wrong with them. And as the mechanic's truck pulled up, the man thanked my grandfather again and said, "It's been nice talking to you," and turned around and walked down the front steps. He got halfway down when he stopped and turned around and looked up at Grandpa and said, "You know something? And I hope you don't take offense at this, but you look a hell of a lot like that SOB Harry Truman." And Grandpa just smiled at him and said, "Well, you know something? And I hope you don't take offense at this, but I am that SOB."